This is just a update, kind of a first impressions video. I ended up picking up a ROG Ally X off of Facebook Marketplace. Got it for $500. Absolutely slamming deal, man. Could not pass it up. And I have some thoughts. I've only had the device for less than 24 hours. But the whole goal for me with this device is to turn it into a better version of a Steam Deck that has more performance and things like that. Especially with the Steam Machine having the price that it is at and its scarcity, it definitely doesn't make me think that the future is looking too bright for a Steam Deck 2 anytime soon. And also, I just couldn't pass up the value of this because I think when a Steam Deck 2 does release, it's going to be significantly more expensive than $500. So when I first got this thing, the first impression I had was it was thick, bro. It is a thick handheld, and I was trying to figure out why it felt so uncomfortable to hold for me. And this is a side profile of the ROG Ally X on the left, and then the Steam Deck LCD on the right. Steam Deck LCD is going to have the same body profile as an OLED as well. And here we can see that the first indication is just this section. You can see that the Steam Deck, it's more slanted, kind of goes down a little bit more, whereas they keep it kind of a little bit more sharp up on the ROG Ally X. And then apart from that, they look like they have the same overall thickness. So you think that they would be pretty similar in terms of their feel, but the main issue is how thick the screens are. So this is the LCD Steam Deck. This is the overall thickness that it has in the middle of the handheld. And what I want you guys to take a look at is where my cursor is. So my cursor is at the bottom of the back of the screen. So this is going to be a comparison between it and then the Asus ROG Ally. So as you can see, they are considerably thicker. The camera is in the same exact spot. The devices are just as far back on both of these pictures, and you can see that the thickness is just there, man. This thing is thick, and there's not a lot to hold on to. So between these two, we can basically see that the main problems with the ROG Ally X is right here. When we go back to the Steam Deck, it almost slants up here. It gives you a ton of room. Your hand can just fit back here. Whereas on the ROG Ally X, it is just like a thick boy, man. It is taking up so much space. So basically, you can just assume that this line that you can see going across here is just the additional thickness that the ROG Ally X has compared to the LCD. And the thing that's crazy about this to me is that my Steam Deck LCD, this one pictured here with the JSOC skin sticker set and everything like that, this weighs 673 grams, all right? The Xbox Ally X, this is the ROG Ally X. This thing weighs 683, so it is 10 grams heavier. The difference between these two devices is only 10 grams. I have logged so many hours with the Steam Deck LCD playing Forza Horizon 6. So many hours. My hand has never once felt even slightly fatigued. Just during the setup process with the ROG Ally X, my hands got so fatigued just because this thing is way less ergonomic. And a big part of that is that the Steam Deck, a lot of this area in the center is not very heavy. You know what I mean? It's just the screen. They kind of minimize the weight. And then the handles have more of the weight. And that's just easier to hold, man. If you're just thinking about it in terms of leverage, if you have the weight closer to you, it's going to be easier to hold compared to having it further away. And the ROG Ally X, it's just when you put an 80 watt hour battery in, what do you expect, man? It's basically like gaming on a power brick. You know what I mean? It is a very heavy device. And overall, I'm hoping I can get used to it, but it is a pretty big learning curve because it's just a less ergonomic, less comfortable device for me. We're taking a look at it top down, bumper to bumper action. We can see that the LCD Steam Deck is wider. Overall, this is going to help again with just feeling more comfortable holding it. And then when we take a look at them side by side, it looks like they're about the same height, but just take my word for it. The Steam Deck LCD is a measurable amount higher. It's just this bumper kind of makes everything look a little bit more equal. So that's my first impressions about the size, the weight, holding it. Definitely is a little bit of a learning curve for me. I'm going to have to get used to it. But now I want to get into some of the software things that I ended up noting while I was doing setup. So unfortunately, this device was kind of a pain in the butt to get set up. When we're just taking a look at the desktop, it's going to look a little bit different for you because I'm doing screen capture. This is upscaled to 4K, so the ratios might be off. But what we're mainly looking at here is the different things that are in it. So we have Copilot down at the bottom automatically. Armory Crate's fine. Asus, there's a lot of Asus stuff in here, which makes sense. Outlook, kind of a weird thing for a handheld to have. Looking at the start menu, obviously LinkedIn, it's like, well, what are we doing? Who's networking on a Asus ROG Ally? Bunch of Asus stuff again. It'd be cool if they could just make this into one application instead of having so much stuff going on at the same time. And basically, the moral of the story is going to be it's bloated. You know, we got OneDrive loaded right there. We have the Copilot 365. Just a lot of stuff going on. Armory Crate's fine in there, But it definitely took me like over 2 hours to get this thing set up. And then to see it being this bloated was pretty disappointing. So these are our startup apps. Edge and OneDrive starting up is kind of like whatever. 365 again, it's just like, why are these things on here? You know what I mean? Like, this is supposed to be a gaming device first. I don't really get it. It's kind of doing that gaming laptop thing where they just get a bunch of software on it and then subsidize the price. These are all of the different things that are on it. You guys can take a look. Obviously the things that I did load that were separate were games. So I'm going to measure the results with 7 different games because, like I said, my goal with this device is not to use it as a Windows handheld, right? My goal with this device is to turn it into a more powerful Steam Deck. And obviously, in order to know what the performance difference is, I wanted to do some initial benchmarking with some of these games that have built-in benchmarks. So that's going to be coming out next week, but overall, there's just like a lot of stuff in here, man. It was just crazy how much things that I just don't think are really that necessary on a gaming device are on this device. And it's almost like they just took everything they would put on a gaming laptop and then slapped it into this handheld PC, which, I don't know, maybe the problem is just systemic and we could just do better on gaming laptops as well. But like, why do we have Microsoft Word, dude? Like, we literally have the Microsoft Home and Student 2021 on this device. It just makes no sense to me overall. And yeah, I just kind of wish that it was a little bit cleaner. For sure, I could go in and optimize it. But again, my goal here is to just make a stronger, better Steam Deck. Taking a look at the Xbox app, one of the cool things that I liked here is that you can use the actual Xbox mode. So I did some testing with forcing an Xbox mode, and it is not the same as this. So here we're going to go into Windows, and then you're going to be able to enable it. And the reason why this is different than the one that you can get currently with forcing it on Windows 11 is this one actually has you restart to optimize performance. So this is literally launching you into an interface that uses less RAM, that is more effective for getting you more performance with your hardware. Whereas the one that I used on Windows when I did it with my LCD Steam Deck running Windows, it was not this. It was literally just a big screen mode of Xbox mode. It was not this optimized performance thing. It was just a big screen mode that you could enable if you wanted to. This thing is pretty cool. I hope that this eventually comes to, like my Steam Deck LCD so I can run that. But overall, not too bad there. And then also the command center, big fan, surprisingly, super big fan of how this is laid out. I like it a lot. Obviously, if you don't like how this is currently laid out, it does have the ability to edit it, and then you can also add other stuff. So I think this is super cool. One of the things I liked was this resolution changer. This isn't going to be the same. Typically, it's only going to be 720, 900, and 1080p. I'm attached to a 4K capture card, so that's why it added the 2K, 4K. But the fact that you can just switch super fast resolutions is really cool. Obviously, the Steam Deck doesn't need that because 800p is already a low enough resolution. But it's just really cool that you can just go in here, limit frame rates, turn on your monitoring. It's very similar to something that the Steam Deck has, but I just like how they integrated this into the button. Also, you have your, it's like your game bar is up there too. So it's the same button and then it integrates with that. So I thought that was pretty cool overall. And then the other kind of like special button that is on the ROG Ally X is going to be like the Armory Crate button. So this is going to be your kind of central hub where you can get all of your games from different launchers and have them work. As you can see here, I'm only going to be testing Steam games, so that's why we're doing Forza Horizon 5 instead of Forza Horizon 6, because I don't have 6 on Steam. But we're going to do all of this testing, and then I'm going to load onto SteamOS, and I'm going to get SteamOS on this thing because that's what I want to actually run, and I'll see what the performance difference is between this thing with just its initial software suite that comes with it and the performance that it has compared to a ROG Ally X with SteamOS. So that'll be my video next week, but I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you then.